Pro-Russian rebels in eastern Ukraine are holding rogue elections on Sunday after ignoring Ukraine's parliamentary elections last week. Tension between Russia, Ukraine, and the West has been escalating, and some fear that Russian recognition of the elections could push Ukraine back into a full-blown conflict. So how did we get here? When Russia annexed Crimea in March, unrest by pro-Russian groups grew in Ukraine's east. These demonstrations escalated into an armed conflict between Russia-backed separatist forces and Ukrainian troops, and has been going on in eastern Ukraine since April. Russia has consistently denied any involvement in the conflict. Kiev and the West don't buy it. The West tried to resolve the crisis with sanctions against Russia, who in turn hit back with their own. Things looked promising on September 5th when Ukraine, Russia, the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe, and the rebels signed a ceasefire agreement. But fighting has continued in some areas, leaving hundreds dead since the deal was signed. The ceasefire left the rebels in control of territory in Luhansk and Donetsk. What's happening now? The separatists want full autonomy of the region that they call New Russia, and some want to join a reconstituted Russian empire. So, to continue trying to affirm their independence, they're holding their own elections. Are the elections legitimate? Ukrainian officials and the EU say the rebel elections are illegal. But Russia has said it will recognize the vote. What happens next? It's hard to say. The actual election results won't be particularly impactful because the existing rebel leaders in each republic are set to sweep the vote. But if Russia does go ahead and recognize the vote, it could heat up hostilities and destroy the already shaky truce. Ukraine said this is a threat to the peace process, and the US said it's a clear violation of the ceasefire. And the rebel leaders have already said that the truce is dead. So who stands to gain the most? If Russia recognizes the vote and shatters the ceasefire, it could mean a return to a full-out conflict. Hundreds of thousands of people have been displaced and thousands killed in Ukraine since April. Plus, as the rebels further establish their territory, it hurts Ukraine's economy, creates instability, and could destroy its Western ambitions. But the rogue elections could be good news for Russia by establishing formal rebel leaders as point people for Moscow. Russia doesn't want the West on its doorstep and sees Ukraine as a buffer zone. Plus, Ukraine is reliant on Russia for gas and other products, and Russia wants to keep it that way.